Once upon a time, in a big city, there was a man named Jack. Jack was a driver. He worked for a rich family, the Browns. The Brown family lived in a large house on the edge of the city. Mr. Brown, Jack's boss, was a successful businessman, and his wife, Mrs. Brown, was a kind woman who took care of the house. They had a daughter named Emily. Emily was young, pretty, and very kind. She was studying at university and often came home during her breaks. Jack had worked for the Brown family for many years, and he always respected Mr. Brown and his family. He was quiet, hard-working, and never asked for much. He took care of his work, driving the family to places, picking up Emily from school, and running errands. Even though it was not an easy job, Jack was proud of his work. Emily was always polite to Jack, but they never talked much. Jack would greet her with a, "Good morning, Miss Emily," and she would smile and say, "Good morning, Jack." Then she would go to her room or get into the car. She never paid much attention to him, and Jack didn't mind. He knew his place in the family. One rainy afternoon, something happened that changed everything. Emily had finished her exams and was excited to return home for a break. She was on her way home when her car broke down. Jack was at the garage fixing another car when he heard the sound of a car engine struggling. He quickly ran outside to see what was wrong. When Jack saw Emily standing next to the car, looking upset, he offered to help. "Miss Emily, let me check the car for you," he said kindly. Emily was surprised. "Oh, Jack, I didn't know you could fix cars," she said. "Thank you so much for helping me." Jack smiled and began working on the car. After a few minutes, he fixed the problem, and the car started working again. Emily was very grateful. "Thank you, Jack. I don't know what I would have done without you," she said with a warm smile. Jack's heart skipped a beat. He had always admired Emily from afar, but this was the first time she really spoke to him. "It was nothing, Miss Emily," Jack replied, trying to stay calm. From that day on, Emily started to notice Jack more. Every time she saw him, she smiled and spoke to him for a little longer. They began to have small talks about his work, the weather, and her university life. Jack felt happy but also nervous. Emily's kindness made him feel special. Slowly, Jack began thinking about her more and more. One evening after dinner, Emily sat outside on the porch, watching the sunset. Jack was about to leave for the day when he noticed her. He decided to talk to her. "Miss Emily, the sunset looks beautiful today," Jack said as he stepped out onto the porch. Emily smiled at him. "Yes, it is beautiful, Jack. Thank you for saying that." They stood together in silence for a moment, watching the sky change colors. Jack was nervous, but he felt he had to say something. "Miss Emily," Jack said quietly, "I've worked here for many years, and I've always admired your family. But I have to be honest with you. I've also admired you, Miss Emily. I care about you, and I wanted you to know that." Emily looked at him, surprised. She had not expected him to say something like that, but there was something in his eyes, something real and kind, that made her stop. "Jack, I didn't know you felt that way, she said softly. But I'm not sure what to say. Jack felt embarrassed. I'm sorry, Miss Emily. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just wanted to be honest. Emily paused for a moment, then said gently, You don't need to apologize, Jack. I think you are a kind man, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for a relationship. Jack's heart sank, but he understood. I understand, Miss Emily. I just wanted to tell you how I feel. After that day, Jack tried to keep his feelings to himself. He continued working for the Browns, but he couldn't stop thinking about Emily. Every time he saw her, his heart raced, but he stayed quiet. He didn't want to make things strange. As weeks passed, Emily began to realize that Jack was different from other people. She saw how hard-working he was and how respectful he was to everyone. She saw that he was always kind and never asked for anything in return. Slowly, she started to like him too. One day, after a long day, Emily was sitting in the living room, reading a book. Jack had finished his work and was about to leave. But as he was about to walk out the door, Emily looked up from her book. Jack, wait, she called. Can we talk for a moment? Jack turned around, surprised. Of course, Miss Emily. What's on your mind? Emily stood up and walked toward him. I've been thinking a lot about what you said the other day, she started, and I've realized that I was wrong to push you away. You're kind and caring, and I've started to like you too. Jack's heart skipped a beat. Really, Miss Emily? Emily smiled. Yes, really. I've been thinking about it, and I want to get to know you better. I know it's not easy for someone like me to be with someone like you, but I want to try if you do. Jack felt his heart fill with happiness. I would love that, Miss Emily. I promise to always respect you and take care of you. From that moment on, Jack and Emily's relationship grew. They spent more time together, talking about their dreams, their lives, and enjoying each other's company. Jack couldn't believe that someone like Emily, so beautiful and kind, would want to be with someone like him. But their love didn't come without challenges. Emily's parents were protective of her, especially her father, Mr. Brown. When Emily told her parents about Jack, they were surprised. They didn't understand how someone like Jack, who worked as a driver, could be a good match for their daughter. They worried about what others might think. However, Emily stood by Jack. She knew he was a good man. Over time, Mr. Brown saw Jack's sincerity and how much he cared for Emily. He began to accept their relationship. One day, Mr. Brown asked Jack to come into his office. Jack's heart raced as he entered. Mr. Brown looked at him with a serious expression, then smiled. Jack, I've seen how you care for my daughter, Mr. Brown said. I realize now that you're a man of good character. If Emily is happy with you, I will support your relationship. Jack was shocked and grateful. Thank you, sir. I will do everything I can to make Emily happy. From that day on, Jack and Emily's love continued to grow. They faced many challenges, but their love only got stronger. Eventually, Jack proposed to Emily, and she said yes, with tears in her eyes. They married in a small ceremony surrounded by their friends and family. Years later, Jack and Emily were still happily together. They had children and faced life's ups and downs. But through everything, they had each other. Jack never forgot the moment he first fell in love with Emily, and Emily never forgot the kind, hard-working man who had captured her heart.
수고하셨습니다. 영어 입근육을 만들기 위해서는 하루 10분 이상 꾸준한 훈련이 필요합니다. 마치신 분께서는 완료 댓글 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.